Hi everyone. Nice to have you all here on the very first day for the OCS. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I'm sure Mark will do most of the discussions today. But let me tell you about Nanaska. We are a small institute. We are specialized in the case studies. We are not, we know that you guys need to pass. Therefore, we will do whatever it takes to ensure you pass. If you fail, we fail is our kind of the attitude. But at the same time, we realize that there are a lot more things that we need to do for you just other than passing you. So we are not going to somehow pass you. We are going to pass you the right path. So therefore, we allocate a lot of time to explain you what the real world is, right? OCS is a very simple, straightforward exam. Then you come to the MCS, then to the SCS. I actually teach for MCS and SCS mostly. Mark will look after OCS, but I just want to come and talk to you on the very first day for a little while. So SEMA is you. I mean, the trouble with a lot of places is they don't know what SEMA exactly wants. SEMA doesn't want you to know a lot of theories. That's not the SEMA's objective. SEMA wants you to be a very practical guy. The SEMA is entirely about building a better CEO. We are trying to build a better CEO. That's what SEMA is all about. We are not trying to build a good finance director. No, that objective is gone long time ago. So I will share a lot of my experience as the CEO of Dankoto Porcelain PLC. What has happened? Those are the ones that will be more critical. So SEMA's view is to build a CEO. That's what we are behind, right? I represent the SEMA Global Council in UK. I'm part of the Global Council in UK. The objective of me being there is to get understand what exactly they want, so we can deliver a course that will matter, that will be aligned with what SEMA wants. So it's a very practical sessions. OCS is little bit too more to the theory sides. MCS is more to practical sides. SCS is 100% practical side. So from the OCS time, unless we set that mentality right, you will get stuck in the MCS and get stuck in the SCS. That's why we want to give you what exactly SEMA is from the OCS level itself, right? So let's work together. My number is 0094 777 398 996, 0094 777 398 996. You can send me a WhatsApp message at any time. Mark will continue the session, but I'll be around every other session for a little while to see, and I'll have a personal chat with you as you go on. Mark, you can start and go ahead.
So from here on, I think you had a brief introduction from Chandra sir as to what Nanaska is, right? So from my end, I'll tell you what we have planned to do in terms of the course, right? The operational case study. What is our plan for you? What is the approach we are going to take for you so that we make you pass, right? So welcome to Nanaska. So I'm Mark. So I'll be taking care of OCS along with Mr. Chandra, right? So it will be a 1.5 month course, as you are aware. So you will have to sit for your case study exams on the starting from the 1st of November, if I'm not mistaken, first week of November. So we have exactly 6 weeks, right? 1.5 months for us to prepare ourselves, get ready for the case study. So before we go there, so we'll be kicking off the classes, kicking off the session starting from tomorrow, right? So today, let me brief you what our plan for you is, what we will do in terms of the case study for you, right? So what does Nanaska have in store for the operational level case study for you, right? So as you know, this is your very first case study, right? So if you take SEMA, right? So you have 3 case studies, right? So number 1, it will be OCS, right? Then you have MCS, then you have SCS, right? So this is your case study structure. So you are at OCS. This is the very first case study you are going to face in SEMA. So how are we going to get about it, right? So you may have done your competencies. So before I before I take a kickstart. So in FLP, you would have gone through your 3 modules. What are the 3 modules? What are the 3 modules? F1, E1, and P1. Right? You would have gone through the 3 modules. Now, here, did you face an exam? Did you have, of course, you had mini case studies, mini scenarios, but you never faced a proper case study as what we are going to, as what you are going to face under operational level case study. Right? So, to give you an overview about our program, about the operational level case study, let me directly dive into that. So, we are into the operational level case study. Right? We are into the operational level case study. November 2023 is your exam. We start annotating it. Right? You are going to face your exam in November 2023, which is 6 weeks from now. First week of November is your exam. Right? So we at Nanaska, myself and Mr. Chandra will be guiding you to face the operational level case study. Right? So moving forward, as you go to MCS and SCS, yes, you will meet Mr. Chandra. So myself, I will be putting whatever the effort I can, so that with the support of you guys, with that cooperation, we need to make this happen. We need to make you pass. So how are we going to get about it? Is what we're going to go through the course and what the course is all about. So when you take operational level case study, to give you a very brief outline, what are we going to do in class? That you would be curious about that, right? What are we going to do in class? So starting off, now SEMA has given you a pre-scene. SEMA has already given you a pre-scene. How many of you have the pre-scene with you? If not, let me make it available during the session. Let me make that available on the chat box. Right. Or else you can simply download it from the SEMA site. It's available free. Right? So this pre-scene is based, you will be getting questions based on this pre-scene. Right? So, you know your pre-scene first. That's the first point. You need to know your pre-scene. Well, what do we mean by know your pre-scene? Now, this is where we thoroughly analyze the pre-scene, right? Break it down into elements which makes it easy for you to understand, right? And analyze the case study, right? So this is the breakup of your pre-scene into various parts into a simpler format. I'll show you a glimpse of it as we go along the course. Along with that, we do a deep dive. Now, what is a deep dive? We dive deep into the pre-scene and see, okay, look here. What are the possible scenarios that could come up with? Right? What is the relevant theory area to this part of the pre-scene? Is it costing? Is it digital costing? Is it absorption costing? Right? Is it break-even analysis? Is it forecasting? We're going to link whatever we know in our E1, F1, P1 into the pre-scene and look at options, look at scenarios as to what could be tested on the exam day. Now, then, next up, know your industry. Now, you get a pre-scene, right? It's not a real world company, but it's almost like a real world company. You get a hypothetical company. It would be selling a product or a service. Now, this time, we have a very interesting industry. What is the industry? Is anybody aware of your industry? What is the case study? What is the industry of the case study we have this time? No idea? Okay, let's go through it. Don't worry. We will be going through it very soon. Right? So, then we take you through a power mock and a financial mock. Now, what are these two? Financial mock purely covers your F1 areas, whereas your power mock, right? It gives you, it gives you a boost, it gives you some power, some confidence, right? Sort of a confidence booster. That where you get scenarios, possible questions, right? From your E1, F1, P1, right? So your power mock will have questions from your E1, F1, and the P1, right? E1, F1, and the P1, the main 8 questions, and it will give you a guide as to what are the main points you need to include, and it will always be with the points, right? So it's a comprehensive mock paper covering all your 3 theoretical areas, E1, F1, P1. Now you might be wondering, okay, this is a case study, this is something to do with the pre-scene, right? This is something to do with the pre-scene, right? So, but why am I talking about this theory a lot? There is a point. Let me come there in a little while, right? Then we have reality mocks in the exam engine, so you will get 10 mock papers. How many mock papers you will get? 10 mock papers which you have to attempt, which you need to review, which you need to study. Now, what is a mock paper? It's very similar to your exam. Same structure as your exam, same format, right? It's just that it will give you some practice, right? You will be facing 10 exams. You can take it that way. You are writing 10 exam papers and then only sitting for a final exam paper. So you can imagine the amount of practice you get, how comprehensive we are going to dive into the pre-scene, right? Basically, it's going to cover all the possible areas. Trust me, it's going to cover all the possible areas, right? Along with that, we have the possible issues. If there is anything that is not covered by the mock papers, but if we think that it could be tested on the exam, yes, we will cover that under possible issues. What are the possible issues that could rise up on the exam day? Right? Then we will have a refresh theory. Now you have done your modules E1, F1, P1, but we will revisit that again. Make sure you are confident, you are competent with the theory. We give you a quick refresher. On your E1, F1, P1, right? Then we will have a business writing workshop. We will have an experience sharing session to give you some, maybe basically give you more confidence when it comes to writing at the exam. How you need to get about, how you need to structure your answers, right? Maybe we will have a few of our students coming in sharing how their experience was in the exam based on what we covered in class. So you will have such a session also. And most importantly, you will have your one-to-one discussions. So we will facilitate about 4 one-to-one discussions throughout our course. So maybe about 4 mock papers, right? You answer the mock paper, we give you the marks, after which you have a one-to-one session where I will also be part of it, and our support team will guide you on that one-to-one session. You can clear all your doubts, you can ask questions, any unclear areas you can ask. Everything is facilitated in the one-to-one sessions, right? So this is a brief overview of the course and what we will do. If I am to simply say this covers what we will do in class. So any questions? I've been speaking for a little while. Now time for you. So having gone through the first 2-3 slides, right? Any questions? If you are clear, you can drop a note on the chat box saying that you are clear. Any questions? Or if you have a question, you can just ask on the chat box. Fee, yes, you can get in touch with our admin team, right? End of the session, we will share the contact details with you, the email addresses, all of it. Yes, it will be communicated to you upon inquiry, right? Any other questions? No. Pre-scene, I will share it with you, right? You don't have to wait until you get access, right? Right, it's uploading. So once it's done, I'll share the pre-scene with you. One-to-one sessions, yeah, it would be both ways. So it will be mostly online, but when we have hybrid sessions, if you are able to come here, yes, we can have a chat, right? So it will be mostly online, but on the hybrid sessions where you also can come in person to the institute, and we will also be streaming it just like this live, right? Yes, it would happen in both under both methods or modes of delivery, right? Right, so looks like that's it. So if you have a question, post it on the chat box. I will get back to it. Right, moving forward. So I said we will analyze the pre-scene. So we do something called a know your pre-scene, KYP, right? We call it KYP, know your pre-scene. So we'll be starting off with this. So it covers about what the company is. It pretty much breaks down your pre-scene into segments where once you go through the KYP, it's almost as similar to you reading the pre-scene and understanding it. So it will be broken down in a way where you could understand it better with graphics, with tables, with charts, right? With additional information like financial information like your ratios, right? Key financials, profitability, revenue, right? All of it. So this is your KYP. So this is going to be our starting point. So tomorrow, when we start class, we start off with the KYP. We start off with the pre-scene. Right. Then we have the know your industry, which is KYI. So that is going to cover. Now, looking at this, tell me what is our industry? Looking at the KYI. Now, I have given some actual screenshots of the KYI you're going to receive once you register with us. Food. What else? What else? Keep guessing. What is your industry going to be? Others, can you please do some guesses and tell me this time for operational level case study, what is the industry going to be? What is the industry going to be? Yes. What is the industry going to be? Food and beverages, protein supplements, dairy products, sports nutrition. Very good. Dairy products, food. So, food, very broad. Dairy products, dairy would be an ingredient, I would say, in this. Food and beverage, pretty much, yeah. Sports nutrition, you're almost there. Again, dairy products, protein supplements, there you go. Right? Food and beverages, yeah. Pretty much in the broader category of food and beverages. And if I further dive down deep, it's pretty much into protein supplements. So it's a manufacturer of protein bars and protein powders. Right? So that is the industry we are going to look at. So we are going to take a few industry stats, how the market has worked out, right? The global market, right? What is our product? What are the ingredients? What are the trends in the industry? Challenges, right? Then the key developments in the industry, the key risks, right? So food and beverage in the broader context, and protein supplements or sports nutrition is a subset of it. Now remember, it's overall, you take it food and beverage. Highly regulated industry, right? An industry with a lot of risks, such as short expiries to product expiring to safety, health, right? So it's a very, I would say, complicated industry where it will have implications from various sources, right? So that's our industry. Protein bars, protein powders, nutrition food, right? So pretty much in the broad context of food and beverages, you go one step down to it, yeah, it's pretty much into sports nutrition, things like that, right? Now we are going to take a real world company as our pre-scene. Now what is our company? What is the name of our company? PB. What does PB stands for? Personal best. Now our company in the pre-scene is PB, personal best, right? So then we will take a company that is very similar to personal best, that is existing now, existing in the real world. What are they? One main company would be Kellogg's. Then we have a part of one area of one, I would say, product line, food product line of Nestle, right? Where it has also these protein bars and powders. Then Kellogg's, yeah, has a pretty much greater focus onto these protein bars, powders, and supplements. When you compare, I mean, these two are not the only companies in this industry, right? I'm just taking two examples. We will look at their website, we will look at their social media sites, look at what sort of content they push through, go to their e-commerce sites, you place an order, look at the user interface, look at how convenient it is for a customer to place an order, all of it, comprehensive analysis. We take a real world company as similar to us, and I hand over certain tasks to you, right? Because knowing the industry is important. Knowing the industry is important. Why? These 6 weeks you've got to be immersed in this case study. You've got to be immersed into this case study. You've got to be on it. Unless otherwise you're going to find it difficult. Why? You may not understand certain things that are happening in the company, right? So that is why what we do is we relate whatever that is happening in the pre-scene to a real world company and say, look here, this is what it is, this is what is happening, etc. Right? So that is our real world application. Now, if I give you an overview of the case study, of the operational case study, right? Now this graph is very important. Now I have put 65, 35. What is 65? What is 35? What is 65? What is 35? So remember, your theory takes a major proportion than your business applications. Your theory takes a greater proportion than your business applications, right? The very first level, this is how it is, right? So it may not be 65 exactly, could be 60, 65, 70, and the balance from your business applications, what you know, right? Your examples, industry examples, to all of it. But majority of it would be coming down from what? From your E1, F1, P1. Now that 65%, if I further break it down into the theoretical context, which subject is taking more weight? Which subject is taking more weight? You can see that P1 is leading from the list, and E1, F1 is equally tested. E1, F1 is pretty much equally tested. Now F1, what should you know? You should know your accounting standards. What are the accounting standards? IAS 2. What is IAS 2? What is IAS 2? What is the accounting standard? Inventories, very good. IAS 16. What is IAS 16? What is IAS 16? PPE, property, plant, equipment, very good. What is IAS 10? What is IAS 10? What is IAS 10? What does it talk about? What does it talk about? Events after the reporting period, very good. Events after the reporting period. Then IFRS 16. What does IFRS 16 talk? What does IFRS 16 talk about? Leases, very good. What does IAS 36 talk about? IAS 36. What does IAS 36 talk about? Impairment, very good. So you need to know your accounting standard. So we will brush them through first in your refresh theory, second in your mock papers, third in your financial mock. Then P1 we will brush them through, take you through them. Make sure you refresh all of the key P1 content. Number 1 in the refresh theory, number 2 in the power mock, number 3 in the mock papers. In the 1 to 10 mock papers, we will be adding these areas and testing, by giving you some practice. Same applies to E1. First, we will brush you through in the refresher. Second, in the 1 to 10 mock papers. Third, in your power mock. Right? So this is your, now this should be the genesis of your case study. Right? This should be the genesis of your case study. Right? So remember, these are not exact figures, but based on the experience we have by analyzing past papers, by talking to students, right? This is what it is. This is what it is. Right? Majority of your question paper coming from your business application, then from your theory, then 30 to 35% from your applications. From your theory, the majority of it will come from the P1. Then E1 and F1, you will equally get questions. So be very conversant, be very thorough with your P1, F1, E1. Very critical, right? If you have not done the competencies properly, don't worry, it's already done. But now we need to get onto it in the proper way. We will give you 3 documents: E1 refresher, P1 refresher, F1 refresher. So start working on them, right? Once you get access to our LMS, you get all these documents, right? Good. So let me give you a brief overview of our KBP. So this is our know your pre-scene. This is what we're going to start things off with, right? It will give you an introduction to the KBP. Right, look here, this is KBP, the company name is given, personal best, company that sells protein bars and protein powders. Now what is our product? We sell protein bars and protein powders, again in the broader F&B industry, right? Detailed analysis of the pre-scene to help you become more familiar with the critical content of this case. Now, knowing the pre-scene is a must. You need to read the pre-scene at least how many times? Take note of it. You need to read the pre-scene at least 25 times. 20 to 25 times reading the pre-scene is a must. I will tell you why as we go along the course. As we go along the course. Right? Then, to set a little bit of context, we set the context statement. Then we come into your role. Now, what should you play in this company as a finance officer at personal best? What is your role? So you are a finance officer. Your primary responsibility lies with preparation of management accounting information. Then you have few stakeholders, few additional duties, and few consultations. So this is your job description. Right? So your objectives or your KPIs will be linked to all of these elements. Right? Then introduction to the company, core products, purpose, target audience, foundation, and economic identity. We are in Zealand. You go through the pre-scene, it says it's a European company. Let me share the pre-scene with you. Yeah, the pre-scene is on the chat box, guys. You can download. Right? Okay, so we are in Zealand, a European country. Then we manufacture our core product is protein bars and powders. Designed for optimal pre and post workout nutrition. Dedicated individuals committed to regular exercise. Now that is our target market. That is our target market. Very important in identifying our target market and formulating strategies where we could expand our market share, expand our product portfolio, and be the largest player in the market, right? So founded in Zealand and it currently operates in Zealand only, a European country, right? So then you need to know about, okay, in this country, it's a European country, what are the people demographics in the European continent, right? Roughly what would be the population per country, right? In the European continent, right? Then you can get an approximation, an indication of your market size, right? Then you compare that with, okay, we are going to compare that with against how much of protein bars and powders we have sold. So we get a distinction about our market share. So things like that. So all these analysis is going to happen starting from tomorrow, right? The genesis of Personal Best, the founders, that's how they founded the company, right? Then you have a journey of resilience and innovation. Then we talk about, okay, the success of Personal Best launch, right? It catered to a gap in the market, so it has become popular. It has influenced the endorsements, right? By that they are able to, right, further reach a wider target audience, innovations, initial sales channels, demand, infrastructure. So all of it we are going to discuss in detail once we start the course. So these are the first 3 years in a nutshell. Year 1 we launched, unveiled certain flavors. Year 2 we expand our product. In year 3 entered into a new product line, few unique selling propositions to all of that, right? Then we have founders, 3 founders and what they do. And most importantly, our numbers. Profit before tax is 1.2 million, revenue is 23.9 million. What is our profit before tax margin? That will be 1.2 over 23.9. Gross profit is 8.4 million. What is our GP margin? 8.4 over 23.9. Right? So can you quickly calculate and tell me what is our profit before tax margin? What is our profit before tax margin? And what is our GP margin? Can someone quickly work it out? 35% and 5%. Very good. GP margin is 35% and profit before tax margin is only 5%. So what has happened? What has happened to that 30%? What has happened to that 30%? Now our gross profit margin is 35%, but profit before tax margin is only 5%. So what are the matrix between your GP and the PBT? If you take a balance sheet, P&L, right, you will have your GP. You have your GP, then you have your PBT. Now what do you find between these two? Very good. You find expenses, you find other income and your finance costs, right? So expenses, you have your admin expenses, you have your distribution expenses, and then you have your other expenses, and finance is covered here, right? So what can you say? Now we generate a 35% margin here, but when it comes to PBT, there has come down to 5%. So what can you tell about our cost structure, which lies in between GP margin and the PBT margin? What can you say about our cost structure? What can you say about our cost structure? Any Yeah, okay, we have a comment. Very good. Indirect expenses are high. Of course, yes. Indirect expenses are high. What else? Yeah, so we need to do an extra review of these costs. We need to do a cost review and see what is going to be the outcome. Of course, we need to somehow see, okay, how can I maximize this margin from single digit? Okay, my plan for the within the next 3 years, take it up to 8%, 9%. What makes me to go there? That's what we're going to discuss, right? So a quick financial overview of our key numbers, right? Then you have our mission and our ethos. So what is our mission? To help all customers achieve their own personal best. So likewise, we're going to go through all of these in detail. Our pre-scene, we're going to go through like this. Further, we will also, why can't we see the screen? I think it's visible to all. Right? So likewise, we are going to take the pre-scene, analyze it. So this is going to be the breakup of the pre-scene. So we'll go through it in detail starting from tomorrow, right? So to give you a brief overview on the industry analysis, right? We know your industry, we call it KYI. We call it KYI, right? So you get a brief company profile, then we get a background. What is protein? So we are into protein bars, powders. We need to start off at that primitive level and go forward, right? What is RDA, right? Then we go into the product info. What are the products we sell? Protein bars, right? Then in that, the nutrition composition. How does it look like, the ingredients, right? Then this is our checklist of protein bars, right? When is it consumed? Pre-workout, post-workout, the benefits, right? The downsides, the benefits and the downside, the pros and cons, all are analyzed, right? Then we look at, okay, what are the types of protein bars available, right? Types of protein bars available in detail, and then the manufacturing of it, right? The manufacturing of it, the product information, the benefits of protein powder, right? Risks of protein powder, right? Then the production process, this is also given in detail in your pre-scene as well. We will go through the same thing as well. Then we go to the most important market analysis, right? What does this market look like, right? Okay, this is it has a CAGR, compound annual growth rate of about 7.8%, right? So, I mean, don't worry, you don't have to study all these, right? This is just for your information, for you to be familiarized with the industry. Now, if you remember at the beginning, I told you, you need to be immersed in this case study for the next 6 weeks in this industry. You got to be on it, on the job. Now, this is one document that will enable you to do that. That will give you a lot of insights, industry insights. How does the market work, the trends, the challenges. Now, when you have an understanding of that, when you address the problem that has been asked in the case study, questioned in the case study by the examiner, that is where you add value. That is where you add value, right? Then, the distribution overview, the customer overview, the consumer, the product, and the most important part, who are the key players? We have Muscle Farm, we have RSP Nutrition, we have Kellogg's, I told you earlier, and Nestle. I also highlighted Kellogg's and Nestle, highlighted both Kellogg's and Nestle earlier as well, right? So we are going to look at a real world company. That is very similar to personal best, PB. That is very similar to personal best. Right? So it will give you some information, the core values, the products. Right? Likewise, the pricing. So a pricing comparison is given. And also you will know the trends and what the future is going to look like for the industry. So as you know, we are in a global business environment filled with a lot of uncertainty, a lot of complexity. Right? In such an industry, in such an environment, we've got to have some ability, we've got to have industry foresight. What is industry foresight? You having an understanding, a knowledge of the future, anticipation on what the future would look like. Now for that, you've got to prepare yourself. What are the trends? Increased awareness, right? Plant-based art. The vegan protein bars, these are called vegan protein bars pretty much. Now where they don't have any element of these animals. Now that consumer segment is growing, right? So we can't be neglecting them. If we do so, we are trying to miss out on an opportunity. So therefore, maybe if you read through the pre-scene, you see, okay, there is a plan to launch vegan protein bars by next year. So on the case study, you might have budgets, you might have to do budgets for it, you might have to do a break-even analysis for it, you might have to forecast the sale for vegan protein bars, things like that. So it will be very interesting. It will be very interesting, right? So that is a glimpse of KYI, which is Know Your Industry. Right. Any questions up to this point? Any questions up to this point? So I've been talking a lot. Right, over to you. Any questions? We have a few more areas to discuss and then we are done for the day and we'll be starting off our class schedule, starting off with tomorrow's session on the case study analysis. Right, so before that, any questions up to this point? If you are clear, you can type on the chat box that you are clear. If you have a question, you can ask. Very good. What about the others? Timing for tomorrow. Very good question. It will be 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. So after you register, you will be getting a scheme of work with the dates, with the extra classes, or with the sessions, timings, and all of it, and what we are going to do. Right? No morning batch. Right? It's just one batch we are going to have. It will be our usual class will be on Sundays, 6:30 to 9 p.m. Then additionally, because we have only 6 weeks, you might have 1 weekday, right, towards the night, which could be like 8:30 to 10 p.m. Yeah, all the sessions will be recorded. All the sessions will be made available in the LMS. But remember, 1 or 2 days, yes, I can accept. I have seen many people who have asked this question at the start. They never go through the videos. Trust me, that has happened. Right? So don't wait without attending for live session, because the value we are going to get from the live session versus a recorded session is 2 different values. It's up to you to decide, right? And we give you 10 mock papers, right? We will review and discuss all those mock papers in class, right? So if you are missing anything, right? If you have a question, you are unable to ask it. When you watch the recording, you might get questions. How are you going to clear them out? Right? So therefore, I do encourage participating on the live sessions rather than watching the recording, because now watching the recording has become a trend, but that's not going to help you. Right? It's only based on the past experience, it's only those who actively participate, do the mock papers, right? Stick to the course line, the scheme of work we give, the study plan we give. It's only they that pass, right? So make sure for you to make sure that you pass, you've got to be present in the live sessions. You've got to clarify all the doubts you have, clarify all the questions you have, right? You know, it's just actively participate, right? It's only 6 weeks, right? Mocks same as the final sitting, of course, yes. Of course, yes. I'll make sure that 90% of the content of your exam, final exam, will be covered through the mock papers, right? You can talk to our students, ask for the experience. You can go to our social media sites, go through the testimonials. That's guaranteed as long as you do your work, as long as you cooperate, as long as you are committed to achieve that. Right? So don't worry, I'll be taking that responsibility. Right? Good. Any other questions? Of course, yes. Theory classes is we have 3 theory subjects, F1, P1, E1. So you will get I told you, when you register, you get a time schedule that will have the refresh theory dates when we are going to conduct the refresh theory sessions. So you have to take part in those. Otherwise, it's difficult to go through OCS, right? So I think Medhavi, you have a connection issue. Hope I am audible to the rest of you, right? So then basically, yeah, very clear, right? Then if someone joins now and didn't attend the theory classes, yes, so please, I showed you this, right? So looking at it, you need to decide whether without knowing the theory, whether you can pass OCS or not. I'm not going to tell you, right? Super. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions, or rest of you, are you clear? All right, so before we wind up, let me give you a brief overview on our study plan, right? So we give you a practice mocks timeline, very important. Out of the 10, you need to do at least 6 or 7 under exam conditions for you to pass. Now that is the thing I want from you. So we give you a timeline. Okay, this is where you need to complete your mock papers and you need to stick to it. So we will schedule the refresh theory sessions in advance to support that, to facilitate that, right? So therefore you need to sit on your mock papers, you need to practice your mock papers during the given timeline. Right? Then the class schedule, yes, you will get a schedule of what we are going to do and the scheme of work. Then we will have a one-to-one sessions with you online, most probably, and those who are joining for hybrid classes where we conduct physically as well as streamed online, right? You can come to the institute. Yes, we can do the one-to-one here as well, and then we give you a feedback session. We have a feedback session prior to the exam. So you will sit with me and we will discuss, okay, what you need to do, what are your pain points, we'll address that, make sure you are fully confident for the exam. Now that is our plan, the study plan, which you need to commit, which you need to work on, which you need to support us. Only when you can pass your case study exam. Trust me, if you stick to these timelines, stick to these study plans, stick to the practice mock timelines, have the one-to-one sessions, clear all your doubts, this is nothing for you to pass, right? So it's all about how you take the approach. So now I have given you an overview of the case study. You know what is going to be tested, right? You know what you need to do from your end. You know what you need to know from your end. So given all that context, right? Now it's all, the ball is now in your hands, right? So none of us we can do alone, right? So I will support. You also need to support. Then only it will be a smooth sail. Otherwise, me trying my best, you showing no commitment, no dedication, problem. So let's not go there. You know what you need to do. You are very clear about the case study, what is going to be asked. You are very clear as to what we are going to do in class, discuss in class. Let's commit for it. Let's work for it. So that's The exam is an online exam, yes. One exam is an online exam, yes. You can do it at the prescribed exam center. At the prescribed exam center. With that, I would like to wind up the introductory session for the OCS, and I would love to see you all in class starting from tomorrow. Starting from tomorrow. So, do you have any questions before we wind up? Exactly, you need to improve your typing skills. I did include it here. Under critical success factors, words per minute is all on your typing. Right? It's all on your typing. Right? It's all on your typing. Right? So let's see. So we at the start we'll agree on your WPM, which is words per minute, which is the indication of your typing speed. Then I will set the standard. You need to gradually work towards achieving that. Right? If you are below par, you need to do some practice. Maybe 10-15 minutes once in 2 days you type. Right? That will take you there. So we'll keep the standard for the words per minute so that your typing speed is improved. Right? Of course, yes. As long as you do the mocks under exam conditions, and as long as you do all the mocks based on the timeline, yes, that's going to improve your typing speed as well. Very correct. Right. Any other questions, guys? If not, we are good to wind up. Any other questions? So final heads up. Right. So now I hope you would have got an understanding on what operational level case study is about, how the case study is structured, the theory areas you need to know, the composition of the theory areas, and most importantly, what we are going to do in class, right? And then the critical success factors, the composition of the case study, then the study plan which you are going to follow along with the calendar, the class schedule to all of it, and also you will get access to our learning management system through which we have the exam engine where you do the mock papers. Like your real exam, you can log into the exam engine and do the mock papers, right? And once we get the mock papers, we mark them, we send it to you, we have a one-to-one session, right? And towards the end of the session, we will have a feedback session as well. So I hope to conduct majority of the classes on a hybrid mode, meaning you can come to the institute as well as it will be streamed online. So all the sessions will be online, but majority of it will be on a hybrid mode. Right? So once you register, you will be added to a WhatsApp group where all our formal communications will go through. So that will say where the class is, right? Then any changes to the times, under any special circumstances, right? So that's going to give you all the updates relating to our course. So please join that WhatsApp group. Once you register, you will be added to that WhatsApp group by our admin team. How many mocks will we be writing? We will be writing 10 mock papers, right? Recommended WPM benchmark 35 to 40. 35 is a decent number, right? So mock paper 1 you won't write, we will discuss in class and you will get the paper and the answer to do a study, to review it. So we will discuss in detail in class, you will review it and then prepare yourself. So from mock paper 2 onwards you need to write. 2 to 10 you have to write. We will mark it, send it to you and have the one-to-one session. Right? That's the plan for the mocks. Suchita, hope I am clear. Right? Super. Any other questions, guys? If not, if everybody is clear, we are good to wind up. Very good question. What is the pass mark for the exam? 80 out of 150. So your mock papers will pretty much be marked in 100. So you take the percentage. It's So you need to have at least 58 to 60% to pass, right? So don't worry. Your case study exam, to give you an overview, right? Your OCS. So your case study exam, it will have how many sections? It will have 4 sections. It will have 4 sections, right? For you to answer these 4 sections, you get 3 hours. So approximately about 40 to 45 minutes per section. 40 to 45 minutes per section, right? The total exam duration is only 3 hours. Within the 3 hours, you need to answer for 4 sections. Section 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? Hope I'm clear. Zamina, hope I answered your question. How many hours of study suggested, especially to be well versed with P1, F1, and E1? How many hours of study? So that actually depends on how conversant you are at the moment, right? So at least you need to spend 4 to 5 hours per subject, right? To have a decent understanding and knowledge to apply to the case study, right? So we teach you about 3 hours of refresh theory for each subject. On top of that, you need to spend at least 4 to 5 hours, maybe 4 hours to 5 hours max, to get yourselves well versed with the theory, right? So don't skip any areas. All 3 subjects are equally important. I showed you the breakdown. Place more emphasis on P1 and equal emphasis on F1 and E1, right? You're going to get pretty much most of it. Since our case study, majority of it will come from the theory. Since the majority of the questions of our case study will come from the theory. Right. Suchita, did I answer your question? Super. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Right. So thank you for joining for today's session. I hope you got something out of it. You got some understanding on what OCS is, right? What the case study looks like, what we are going to do, right? No need, nothing to memorize, no definitions, no principles, nothing. You don't have to put definitions on the case study paper. We'll go through all of it, right? Examiner knows the concept. You just need to apply the theory into the scenario given. For you to apply the theory, you need to know the theory. So it doesn't mean that you need to write huge definitions. So what not know? You need to know what the standard is. Simple as that. What is IAS 16? The recognition criteria, the subsequent measurement criteria. It doesn't have to be the same thing as what is found in the standard book. No. You need to know what it is, right? Nothing to memorize, just application and principles, right? So I hope I've given you a decent overview of the case study and what we have in store for you and what our plan for you is. So I'll see you in class tomorrow and let's learn this together and let's make sure you pass. That's it's going to be an interesting, it's going to be an excited 6 weeks. We're going to talk about a very interesting industry, right? So I'll see you in class tomorrow. So yes, you will get added to the WhatsApp group. So we can use the WhatsApp group for all communications and you can reach me through that as well. Right? So once you register, you will get added to the WhatsApp group. So we will all be there. So we can discuss any matters there and you can reach out to me from that as well. Right? So thank you for joining for today's session. Have a good night and a great week ahead. Thank you very much.